All right, shalom, shalom, and Shabbat shalom. Good afternoon and good evening, Boaz here. Well, another stream on the Sabbath. I hope everyone has had a blessed and beautiful week. I know definitely mine has been uh, a wonderful week, and it just inspired me to want to talk about why we do what we do when it comes to carpentry, when it comes to real skills, when it comes to getting out there and being blessed through the labor of your hands, uh, so that you can be free, so that you can not be in debt to this system and not be a slave to this system. Because you got to understand something. This is exactly what they want. They want you enslaved to this system, because hey, the borrower is a servant to the lender, and the rich ruleth over the poor. And I've been talking about this for many years, and I've been looking at through my old videos of uh, what I've been talking about in terms of the different topics and how it's so relevant today. So, without further ado, I'm going to play one video for you that I did about 5 years ago. And it's amazing how relevant it is to what's going on today. And then I'm going to be getting into talking about family. I'm going to be getting to talking about family and friendships, and developing those solid relationships, uh, uh, because they're critical, they're important, they are necessary. Um, uh, because, hey, man, at the end of the day, I'm an introvert. Um, and at the end of the day, we need one another. We need to be able to be in fellowship with good, solid people. We need to be in fellowship, loving people that are of like mind, people that um, really, really, really do have it together, socioeconomically. Because, hey, man, in this time, we see the betrayal that's taking place. We see the false friendships. We see the literal breakdown of the home, and it needs to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is if we have real men that stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough. We don't need more brokenness. We need people that are going to make the actual sacrifice necessary. But before I go into the topic of discussion, I'm going to play uh, a video that I did about 5 years ago talking about uh, this biblical slavery, because we're seeing it coming to pass. We're seeing people that are literally Hebrew slaves. Now, we're not calling it that because, see, again, we can talk about polygyny, and we can openly talking about polygyny and how it's biblical, and concubinage and all these things. But when we talk about slavery, when we talk about Hebrew slavery, nobody don't want to talk about that. And nobody sure as hell don't want to put a face to it, due to the simple fact that it's not palatable. See, polygyny is very palatable to talk about. Concubinage is very palatable to talk about. But one of the things that is a sensitive topic is definitely Hebrew slavery. So before I get into my video, I'm going to play something for you just to prove and show that this is what I was talking about um, many years ago. But let's go on and listen to what I was saying.
Early in the morning. And this is due to the simple fact that, when you're putting on bubble, that's the insulation that goes on top of the building. The rays from the sun reflect off on you. And if you
And this is when I was doing my apprenticeship. When I was under a master builder, this is what we was building one of the pole barns.
you're in the 90-degree heat, and them rays are, the reflective side, the silver side of the bubble, it hits you and you're up on a roof. I mean, it is brutal. So the idea is to get out here as early as possible to beat the sun and beat the heat. to get this stuff done because handling metal and handling bubble in 90, 100-degree heat uh, on a sunny day is just it's unbearable. We packed up yesterday uh, to start early because it was just too unbearable. But I was out here and I was thinking, and I see what's going on, and I've seen it for many years now, probably about 6, 7 years, when I came to the knowledge of what's going on in this world, whether it's economically, politically, socially, or even spiritually. I saw certain things and I saw certain trends that I knew would take place. It's just basic deductive reasoning and logic of where we're going to be going and how these things are going to be panning out. And I know, or many of you may know, that we have a serious debt problem in this country. It is stated that we have more than $70 trillion in debt. Now, this is not including the 21 trillion in national debt. We're talking about another trillion plus in student loan debt. We're talking about uh, 4 trillion is estimated that the average household will be in uh, $4 trillion in credit card debt. Now, this is outside of student loan debt. By the end of 2019, I believe, or end of 2018, $4 trillion. Uh, you got the student loan debt, like I said, trillions of dollars in student loan debt. Now, this is from the ages of 25 to 30 something, I think, but it's just across the board. You have the auto loan debt crisis where people are taking out auto loans, and these auto loans have reached into the trillions of dollars in auto loan debt. So you have different debt pools. You have student loan, you have auto, you have credit card, and then you have mortgage debt. And it's being estimated that the average person is going to take damn near 25% plus of their net income to service debt. Uh, Now, you put on top of that, you have a light bill, you have a gas bill, you have a water bill, you have a sewage bill, you have an electric bill, you have rent. Um, and after all of that is done, the average American is pretty much not left with anything to save at the end of the month. And, it's interesting. I got a letter in the mail offering me a $500 loan, short-term loan. This is loan sharking. They charge you an extraordinary amount of interest to get these short-term loans. So if you borrow $500, you have to pay back $800, $900, $1,000. I mean, you're talking about 100% interest. And I look out and I see all of this debt that people are in, and people are working 2 and 3 jobs. It's amazing how you look on Facebook and people say, "Yeah, I'm going to my second job, or I got a second job," and 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 I'm looking and I'm like, what jobs are they getting? And then you look at the jobs that they're getting. They're getting basic service sector jobs, Walmart jobs, Dollar General jobs, Kroger jobs. I heard a whole bunch of Kroger stores are going to be closing out in, I think, Georgia or North Carolina, something like that. Sam's Club closing. And because all of these jobs are being automated. And this is where we're going. And a lot of people.
Now, again, I did this video 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Look at the Look at when I did it in 2018. Let's go.
People are in so much debt that the truth of the matter is that they'll never be able to get out of this debt. They have literally become debt slaves. Sure, you can, there's two options to that. Because at the end of the day, you have to pay off these debts. See, there's certain debts that you just can't walk away from, like student loan debt. And car, if you need a car, they take your car and you still owe the money. And then you have bankruptcy. Well, if the average American cannot come up with $500 to save their own life, how are they going to afford $1,500 to file for bankruptcy, either Chapter 7 or Chapter 11? Because it costs money to file for bankruptcy. It's not a free thing that you do. You have to file paperwork. You have to maybe hire a lawyer or a service professional or whatever to run your credit and all of this stuff. Then you have these credit service agencies where they help you fix your credit. And I saw certain fees advertised on TV or advertised on Facebook or YouTube where they charge you as much as $1,000 to fix your credit. Now, if you can't come up with $500 to save your life, how are you going to leverage any of these services? I say all of this to say that what I see happening, and this is a very controversial topic, because if you think polygyny is a controversial topic, try being a manservant or God's laws or Yah's laws talking about male servant or female servant. And the Bible and the Ten Commandments, it talks about the notion that a man can have a male servant and a female servant. In the scriptures version, it calls male slave or female slave. And the truth of the matter is that this is where many of folks are going today.
Now, again, I was talking about this 5 years ago. You see the video, June 16th, 2018. Today is June 14th, 2024. No, that's more than 5 years ago. Almost 6 years ago, I was talking about this slavery stuff. And we're seeing it come to pass. Again, you know what I'm saying? People, this is not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. Go on. I'm gonna continue to play the video. We're gonna be having dinner tonight as usual. Relax and kick back until we get into the main topic of discussion. But
because if you're in all this debt and you're sleeping, you know how many people I run into that are sleeping on their mother's couch, that are just flat out just destitute, have nothing. And we live in such an entitled society where everybody thinks that someone is there to bail them out of the situation that they're in. People are expecting to get put up for free. People are expecting handouts for free because, see, we live in a society where, hey, you can get all types of governmental services for free. And it costs you nothing because that's the snare of the system. They want you in debt and they want you dependent on them. And this is where many people are going. I know people that are already there. Biblical Hebrew slaves, male slaves, female slaves, and especially the women, because see, the idea is that there's more women than men on the face of planet Earth, and so typically you're going to see.
And I was talking about this 6 years ago because it's so relevant today. Because see, it goes back to like I was saying with these situations with communities and stuff. If somebody gives you a house and someone provides you shelter, someone provides you tells you where to work, when somebody tells you when to get up, when to go to sleep, or your weekly schedule, somebody tells you it has the power to tell you where to go to and fro, you are in fact a slave. This is just a simple fact, but it's one of those things that are not palatable today, but it's the reality, and this is why it's so important to have real skills. What's going?
See more female slaves because the idea is that, listen, many women today that society is being produced are not marriage material. That's just a fact of the matter. Just across the board, not marriage material. And then you have a lot of women that want to be married but don't want to be a wife. People understand what that type of talk is. They want the aura of marriage, but they do not want to be a wife. And you see where we're going clearly. And it's sad because many men or many women are simply not capable of doing the basic responsibilities of putting a roof over their head and food in their stomach. So uh, they go to the state, and the state does that for them. And they're ensnared to the state. Now, what happens when all of these benefits start getting cut? What happens when austerity measures start to take place in this country? Where are these people going to go to put food in their bellies and a roof over their head? And just like there is a solution out there to deal with the structural issues associated with uh, 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 growing a vibrant family, which is polygyny, so too there is a solution for these problems, which is male servants and female servants. Now, I know a lot of people, it's very uncomfortable to think that you're going to belong, you're going to be another Hebrew's property. And it's the reason why, I know male slaves and female slaves today, they are the property of another Hebrew man. And it's totally legal and it's totally biblical.
You see what I was talking about 6 years ago? You see, because I saw this, I saw what was going to take place, and it's coming to pass now. And you think that you're going to rise up and question your a man that gave you food, shelter, gave you wives, get no, it just don't take place like that. You have no authority whatsoever to question your master when that master has provided you shelter, when that master has provided you a family. You're not in no situation, and this is why I've said over and over again: real skills, real skills, real assets, real friends. Let's go.
And there's no problems with it. This is like one of those little things that's just not being discussed, but it needs to be discussed because, see, this is where we're going. And the reason why they're in this situation is because they were fiscally irresponsible. Period. See, the idea is that the reason why someone is homeless or somebody's sleeping up, I always like to ask the question, why is it that this husband and wife, or why is it that this man, or why is it that this woman is such in a bad situation economically? Why? Why? It's because of them. Hey, at the end of the day, you've made the choices and decisions that you've partaken in that landed you in the situation that you're in. Just like somebody that's worked hard and has sacrificed and has gone through the painstaking measures of doing something to make something with their life and put their hands to the plow, and now they're blessed. Those people haven't done it. Those
Now, again, I was talking like this when I was just a mere apprentice because I understood what this kind of situation it would put me in today. And correspondingly, the people that did not want to hear, the people that did not want to heed the warnings, the situation that they're in today. Isn't this amazing? Again, June 16th, 2018. Now, we understand today that there's a lot of storms and hey man, a tornado can come through a landslide or whatever, or a natural disaster, a hurricane. We ain't talking about them situations. We're talking about people that just made poor choices and decisions that landed them in the situation that they're in today. But let's go on.
Those people haven't done it. And as a direct result of that, they're somebody else's property. Many people out there are going to be someone else's physical property. But they claim to be Hebrews, right? They claim to be Israelites, right? Is this not the law? Is this not the law? Of course it's the law. Many folks will qualify for male servants, female servants, concubines.
And again, I've been talking about this, and this is why I'm going to play a video of Pastor Charles Dow of the Straightway Truth Ministries, talking about the fact that 95%. Now, this is his words. This is his words. 95% of people who come to community don't come with nothing at all, nothing whatsoever. What does that make them? What does that make them?
This is just the truth. This is the solution to these problems. Because when you can't milk the system no more, and you've been thrown out on the street by mommy and daddy, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? See, people are going to be forced to submit. People are going to be in situations where you have no choice, like the people that I've run across in the past had no choice whatsoever. When you're homeless, when you have no food and your children crying, or you can't feed yourself, or what are you going to do? Of course you're going to submit. Of course you are. See, everybody just comes to these situations at different points in times where it just clicks and they have no other choice and they have no other option. This is where we're going. We're economically bankrupt. We're spiritually bankrupt. We're morally bankrupt. And unless we get back to these laws, instituted by people who understand them and know how to apply them, like the people I know who own slaves, they apply the law very much honorably. They're honorable male servants and female servants. They're honorable masters. I see nothing wrong with that deal. But like polygyny, this is an even hotter topic, I believe, in my personal opinion, because this is not dealing with the notion of just some wives. This is dealing with the notion of whole families being subjugated into a slavery situation because of their lack of choices and of bad choices and decisions that they've made. Be prepared. Men, be prepared. Women, it's sad to see and hear of the stories that are taking place out there in that world. People are literally destitute. I mean, the situations are just bad. I mean, real bad. Mm. But hey, it got to be this way. It got to be this way. What other choice do you have? This is the way we're going. This is the way we're going as we see this slow economic decline in this country.
Now, again, I was talking about this 6 years ago, and it is coming to pass now. You're seeing a divide on every level, whether it's government, whether it's religious institutions, whether it's political, or organizations or even corporations, you're seeing the divide, the greater divide between rich and poor. Look at any church assembly. You have rich and poor. Look at any corporation. You have rich and poor. Look at any government institution. You have rich and poor. This is what you got going on.
Hmm.
This is what you got going on. Why? No real skills, no real ambition, no real intent to change anything in their lives. But hey, don't complain. Don't complain. Deal with the
Yeah.
situation as it is.
And many of you better wise up, because many of you are going to be in this situation. And hey, it's lawful, it's biblical. The only thing is going to mess with your mind, because even though you're a debt slave now, even though you're a slave to the system, slave to socialist programs, you ain't got no problem being a slave to this world. But it's just something about clearly defining it and clearly living it that's going to shake the core of a lot of people. But at the end of the day, I said, like I said before, I know biblical Hebrew slaves, and I got no choice. You better be happy in these situations. You better be content, and you better play your role. If you're a male servant, if you're a female servant, whether it's a concubine, a wife, or a husband, because it's all about roles. And these roles will, like they have been instituted, and they're going to be instituted on a grander scale because of the situation in this country.
Now, could you imagine? You've put somebody up. You've provided them with food. You've provided them with a place to stay. You provided them with all of this stuff, and they're gonna buck against you, and they're gonna question you. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. And this is what people are failing to understand and realize. You have no authority, and we're gonna look into the book of Philemon to see what's going on, because it's so important to understand the proper order and perspective of this thing when it comes to these biblical roles. But let's go.
This is the truth. Yeah, you're going to see this become more and more prevalent, especially on communities, as all of these dozens of communities are popping up. What are these people going to do when they come? And because they're going to have to be housed, they're going to have to be fed. What are they going to do? What choices and decisions and options do they have but to go off grid economically if they're in so much debt? Let's have a discussion. Let me know what you think. Put some comments in the video in the comment section below. I'd really like to know what people are thinking out there. What are your thoughts? Do you think biblical slavery, male servants, female servants are going to be instituted in these last days? Let me know. Shalom.
Now, what was I talking about? What was I talking about? I mean, it's just so prevalent today. This is what's going on. This is what you're going to see. But Brother Santy's in the house.
Shalom,
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom, brother.
Shabbat shalom.
Anything that you want to say?
I
How was your
mean, it,
week? How's everything going? We're just gonna let it flow this evening, but you know, we're gonna be talking about family. We're gonna be talking about friendship. It was a beautiful week this week. I mean, it was just
mhm.
a beautiful week, and I'm gonna want to talk about that. But we're gonna get into and I'm gonna be doing, like I said, I'm gonna be doing a broadcast talking about biblical slavery in the last days and how it is being instituted and how to identify it functionally, because you identify something by its function. But go ahead, brother.
Well, yeah, it's been a long week, brother. Getting things done, but I thank the Father for it, man. I'm thankful just to be busy and
Hmm.
have things steadily going with business. So family's doing well, all that. So Um, yeah, it's good, man. Just glad to make it to another Shabbat. But the topic, man, is definitely what you were just covering is it's
I did that
it's a
video
touchy
6 years ago.
subject. It's a touchy subject, but whether people like it or not, it's happening.
Hmm.
People just don't call it what it is, and of course, you know, as men of Yah, we should strive to be a servant to no man. You know, we should look to uh, you know, not put our brother in such a situation. But then again,
No, 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 no.
it
But no,
does.
no, 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 no. Nobody's putting anybody in any
Yeah, people are
situation.
choosing.
People are choosing. People are putting
People are choosing.
themselves in that situation. I
It's not.
can't put. Yeah, I can't put nobody into slavery.
It's
I
not.
can't.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not ideal. But
Mm-hmm.
again, it nonetheless is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's just again, people aren't calling it what it is. But of course, over here, what we talk about is the polar opposite of that, putting yourself in a
Mm-hmm.
position
Mm-hmm.
where you aren't going to be a servant to any man, where you are going to have autonomy to live life the way the Father is leading you to live it, and not have to answer or be subject to any man. But again, the reality is it's happening. The
Mm-hmm.
reality is people have put themselves in these
Yeah.
situations,
Mm-hmm.
and so hopefully people can be encouraged to start making decisions where they can empower themselves uh, and put themselves in a more uh, favorable position. You know,
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is that like I said, everybody can make the choice and decisions for themselves. Um, well, the food is here. Let's get this food.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So what do we got for Shabbat dinner tonight? I mean, presentation of food is just so important. You see that? I mean, I'm a bit, men are visual creatures. We're visual when it comes to our women, but we're also visual when it comes to our food. Look at that. I mean, that's just good eating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, could you
That's good, bro.
imagine you're a slave and you're forced to eat ramen noodles? Huh? 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 You're forced to eat ramen noodles because you're a slave? It's a sad deal. But you know what I'm saying? You put yourself in that situation, don't complain. But yeah, that's gonna be a very, 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 very interesting subject to breach because a lot of people don't want to touch it because it's sensitive. You know what I'm saying? It's a sensitive topic. But we're gonna get into we're gonna dive deep in it. We're gonna keep it a buck because this is amongst all of this controversy, amongst all of this talk, nobody even want to discuss that. It wasn't brought up once. It wasn't even breached once because people didn't look at it from that perspective. And that's the interesting thing. You know what I'm saying? People did not look at it from that perspective. And when you looked at it from that perspective, then you say, oh, I get it now.
Right, right. I
I
mean,
get it now.
it's definitely I guess when you get to a point when you expand in knowledge and you expand in your awareness, um, when you know better, you do better. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? When things are presented a certain way, you can perceive it a certain way. But again, what we always advocate is self sufficiency. Is putting yourself in a position as a man where um, you have the preeminence,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's in your household, whether that's just homesteading, whatever that may be, financially. As a man, we should always, as men, we should strive to put ourselves in a position where we have the preeminence across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, again, I think this subject is very touchy, but again, it is what it is, you know. And like I said, the whole idea is to get yourself in a place where you're not in such a position, where you can actually choose, and you can choose.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to be in a position such as that, or you can choose to
My thing
take
is,
make sacrifices to
mm-hmm,
get in a position where you have um, where you're self sufficient, where you can actually um, chart your own course as a man.
mm-hmm. All right, so let's say grace right quick. As we keep it nice and quick, and give the thanks to the Father, but Heavenly Father Yahweh, as we sit here on the Sabbath, Shabbat tonight to enjoy this wonderful meal that has been prepared for us. Let it nourish our bodies and our spirits as we go forth in our Shabbat, relaxing and fellowshipping, and bringing forth this truth, Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ the King. Amen.
Amen.
Right. Man, just good food, man. Good food. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. You
Yeah,
want some?
I haven't eaten nothing all day, so
Oh man, that's good. That's good.
hallelujah.
Oh. Mm.
Oh yeah, that's on point.
Not with the sausage. I like to have this Grey Poupon. You want some?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just delicious, man. Take the back of your fork and scoop it out. It's not like good eating. And I'll get into my week, but it was just a fun week, man. It was just a fun week.
Yeah, I saw you went to that discovery park with the family and had a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
activities
man.
for the children, and it's actually something I plan on doing
Oh man, yeah,
soon.
man. It's all there, man. It's all there, and that's why I'm trying to put you on, to these things because they're not very expensive. That's the big thing. Now we got the tickets, unlimited tickets, to go, and it was a couple of days. Well, we went 2 days to the fair that they had. Last year they had a fair in Paducah. This year they had in Mayfield. But it's always activities. But you just got to go on Facebook Marketplace and look them up. But we're gonna be going into before, and I'm gonna be going through all of this again because it just moved on my spirit when I was looking through my older videos. Talking about this kind of stuff. But it's so critical that we bring it up. But this is uh, uh, a uh, a book of Philemon that I've never heard any pastor. He said no sound. No sound. How is that possible? Let's see if I can. Can you log in and because it's saying no sound.
Let me see.
No sound.
No sound.
No, a sound. I can hear myself.
No
Yeah, that
sound.
must. Yeah, that's yeah.
No sound. I can hear myself. Yeah, that must. Yeah, that's yeah.
There. So there's sound there. Okay. All right. But this kind of stuff, just need to be discussed. So we're gonna get into it. Man, this is good.
Yeah, that sauce is definitely was on point.
I mean, peppers and stuff grown from last year's garden.
Yeah, this is on point, brother. As usual.
Hell no, I can't enjoy a terrible meal. after a hard week's worth of fun and fellowship, man. I can't do it. I got a client Monday. Got some stuff done, but another like $1,000 a day.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, I had a delivery. I had my oldest helping me today. Yeshaya. He's helped me do some deliveries and service calls earlier, so he's getting used to, especially deliveries. He's getting good at handling things, and so train him up while he's young. You know what I'm saying?
Give him a good foundation, he'll be fine. But let's look at the book of Philemon, okay? King James Version. Now, I've never, ever heard this book preached on, but we're going to look at the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how. We're going to look at everything in complete context to understand exactly what it was talking about, okay? So let's start into it. Paul, a prisoner of Jesus Christ, and Timothy, our brother, on to Philemon, our dearly beloved and fellow laborer. We get to who, and you see how he always exalts Jesus Christ. Today we exalt man. We don't exalt Jesus Christ today. We exalt man. Paul, a prisoner of Jesus Christ, and Timothy, our brother, on to Philemon. So this sounds like this is a dual letter being written on to Philemon. And he identifies Philemon as their dearly beloved and a fellow laborer. And to our beloved, Aphia and Archippus, our fellow soldier, to the church in thy house. Did you hear what he said? So he's also talking to Archippus and Archippus, our fellow soldier, and to the church in thy house. So you know, where two or more gathered in his name, there he is in the midst.
That's what it says.
Okay?
It says.
Okay? So he's writing this letter to Philemon and the people in his house. And he's saying that this is the church. Grace to you and peace from our Yah, our Father, and Lord Jesus Christ. I thank Yah, making mention of thee always my prayers. You hear what he's saying? Hearing of thy love and thy faith, which thou hast towards the Lord Jesus Christ, towards all saints. He's to Philemon, okay? That the communication of thy faith may become effectual by the acknowledgement of every good thing which in you in Jesus Christ. So he's talking to Philemon. He's talking to the people and he is referencing them. These people are the church, our fellow soldiers, our fellow laborers. Okay? This is a man's house. So these are his servants. Okay? And we'll get into it. For we have great joy and consolation and thy love, because the bowels of the saints refreshed by thee, brother. So he's referencing this man as his brother. Okay? Yet for the love's sake, I rather beseech thee, being such as and one as Paul the aged, and now also as a prisoner of Jesus Christ. I beseech thee for my son Omninus, whom I have forgotten in my bonds, which in the time past was to thee unprofitable, but now profitable to thee, to me, whom I have sent again. Thou therefore receive him, that is mine own bowels, whom I have retained with me, that in thy stead he might have misministered unto me in the bonds of the gospel. But with thy mind, what I do nothing, that thy benefit should not be as it were necessity, but willingly. For perhaps he therefore departed for a season, that thou should receiveth him forever. Now, as a servant, but above a servant, a brother beloved, especially to me, but how much more unto thee, both in flesh and in Yah. If thou count me therefore as a partner, receive him as myself. You see what's going on here? If he hath wronged thee or ought thee out, put that on my account. I have written it with my own hand. I will repay it. Albeit, I do not say to thee, thou owest unto mine even thy own self besides. Yea, brother, let me have joy in thee and the Lord. Refresh my bowels in the Lord. Having confidence in thy obedience, I wrote unto thee, knowing that thou wilt also do more than I say. So it's saying you're going to go, above and beyond for this man. But withal, prepare me also lodging, for I trust through your prayers I have given unto you. There salute thee, Epaphroditus, my fellow prisoner in Jesus Christ. Marcus, all of these people, my fellow laborers. To grace and Jesus Christ be unto you. Amen. So this man left, went to Paul, and Paul is writing to Philemon, and this is why he's always saying, he always say, to my bonds, to my own bowels. He always talks about the concept of a prisoner, a prisoner, a prisoner. Like we're a prisoner of in Jesus Christ. This is why he's referencing that over and over again to appeal to Philemon. And he's saying that if this brother wrong you, man, I'll pay you back, man. I'll pay you back. But why isn't this stuff being preached? Because, see, this man clearly, Philemon's house, he clearly saw him as a dearly beloved fellow laborer. He clearly identified this man, grace unto you, peace and Father in our Lord Jesus Christ. So they were in the faith together. So don't mean to tell me that there's no such thing as manservants and maidservants in the new covenant or the New Testament, because this is a clear example talking about here. And let's look at let's see what it's talking about, or how it explains the book of Philemon. Where does it give some commentary? Philemon was Paul's son in the faith, yet he entreated him as a brother. Omnis was a poor slave, and yet Paul besought for him as into seeking a greater thing for. Oh man,
You can probably click on that right there. Oh, it just goes into that. Okay.
Yeah, it just goes into that. Now, as a servant, but above a servant, and a brother beloved, especially to me, but much more unto thee, both in flesh and in the Lord. If thou have, he said, therefore, as a partner, receive him as myself. So it's obviously this man ran away, and Paul was trying to rectify the situation. Paul was trying to address the issue. this needs to be talked about more because this was clearly our heritage. And when we look forward to today, this is the same kind of stuff that's taking place where you got disagreements between people that live on people's land. And this is how Paul dealt with the issue. This needs to be preached about more because I've never heard this stuff discussed. But this is why we say over and over again the importance of making sure that you can provide for yourself, the importance of making sure that you can do for your family, because the end result is we want to be able to provide a good lifestyle for our family. We want to be able to make sure that we can do for our family without having dependent on others to do for us. And it's just a fact.
No, you're right. I mean, again, of course, we know the law, what the law has to say about bond men and bond women, but you know what I'm saying? Being in Messiah, you know, we should not seek to subject ourselves in such a situation. And so it's important that people look at the facts of what they get themselves involved in. At least to know the facts and know it for what it is. And I think that's the point, overall point you're making, is that people need to know what they're getting themselves into from a scriptural perspective, so they can make an informed decision. And I think if people really knew what they were getting themselves into, then they would make different decisions. But the reality is, this is why we advocate a lot about putting yourself in position as a man where you become the best version of yourself, so you don't have to worry about getting entangled in such a situation. You know what I'm saying? But this isn't talked about. This isn't really talked about for what it is. But it's clear as day, you know, how this materializes, how this is manifested. Yeah, again, it's a touchy subject, but it's
the truth. I'm going to be talking about this more. Paul wrote to Philemon to encourage him to receive Onesimus back as a brother in the gospel without the severe punishment that would usually be inflicted on a runaway slave. See Philemon 1:17. Even Paul offered to make up any financial losses Omnimus had caused Philemon to suffer. You see, this is what the issue was. He was like, you know what? Hey, you know, I'll pay you back. Just receive him back as a brother. Paul helps his friend Philemon. He was his friend. You clearly see how Paul thought about Philemon. He obviously was a landowner. He was obviously in Christ Jesus. He was obviously. That's how he referred to him. Paul helps his friend Philemon reconcile with his escaped former slave Onesimus. Paul urges Philemon to forgive Onesimus and accept him back as an equal because they are both followers of Jesus Christ. God's grace has made them partners under the new humility that Jesus was established. He was like, you know, receive this brother back, you know what I'm saying, as a brother. We don't see that shit happening today. We don't see that kind of humility happening today. But it's all right there in the book of Philemon. Why hasn't it never been preached? Why hasn't it never been talked about? But hey, it goes back to the notion that when you put yourself in a situation where you've been fiscally irresponsible, where you haven't done what you needed to do, hey, this is how you put yourself. This is the kind of situation you need to put yourself in.
Well, you know, like I said, people need to make informed decisions. People need to be shown clearly what they're getting into in these type of situations, and it shouldn't be masked as something different than what it actually is. You know, but again, you know, there's you know, we constantly advocate, you know, you becoming the best version of yourself as a man. We pound that over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not obviously a position of any man would willfully put himself into, would voluntarily choose to do. You know what I'm saying? So if you knew all of, if you knew, if it was really clear what you were involving yourself in. But again, a lot of times these type of situations are not, um, they're not fully disclosed for what they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but yeah, it's, you don't really hear anybody talking about it, but it's out there. You know, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the
Oh man.
was there anything else you had on this?
No.
'Cause I was wondering what you were, the other subject you were talking about. I couldn't remember what you said.
Well, I was talking about um excuse me, I want to talk about, the week that I had. I just had a phenomenal week.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what real skills will get you. This is what real um ability to be a true lover of your family. I've been doing a lot of family videos all this week, just posting on Facebook, just showing people what we need to see more of, what we need to be experiencing more of, because it's so important. It's so
Mm-hmm.
important. But not only, I mean, just had a fun time,
Mm-hmm.
going to the Discovery Park with the family, um, um, going to the carnival, going out to eat. I mean, we just had a blast this week. I mean, it just fills my heart with such joy when I'm able to, experience and do these things with family. But that could not have taken place. That cannot take place unless you um, have real skills and the ability to provide for yourself and your family. And this is why I played that video that I did 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then, I was just an apprentice. I was somebody that was learning the trade. And because I saw what would be taking place today, I foresaw it. And this is why it's so important for you folks to go back into the archives to see how I was talking about and what I was talking about 5, 6, 10 years ago. The same stuff that I'm talking about now. I have not changed my message, but the message is becoming more and more relevant as we see what's going on in society today. Um, but in addition to that, developing friendships,
Mm-hmm.
developing friendships. I mean, I hit the jackpot of friendships this week. Um, and I'm going to talk about the apprenticeship program that I'm doing. See, everything is just coming together, and this is why it's so important to share this stuff with folks because so many positive things are happening in spite of what's going on in this world.
Right. I mean, it's definitely a beautiful thing to, because of
Oh
course
man, it's good.
I've been here for, it's been over 2 years. Well, it'll be 2 years in
Mm-hmm.
July.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, prior to me moving here, and I know I've shared this before, but
Mm-hmm.
like, um, I didn't really live in close proximity to a lot of Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I would fellowship with people here and there, but you know, I live, about 10 minutes away from, 'em, you know what I'm saying? So um, it's given me an opportunity to really build uh, a solid brotherhood with yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
not only that, but I've been able to, just kind of watching your man of life. There's a lot of things I've been able to learn. Um, of course, we've had a lot of, there's been a lot of counseling you've given me
Mm-hmm.
in different areas. Um, and just seeing how you move, you know what I'm saying, it motivated me, to step my game up even more. So just looking at
Mm-hmm.
what you've managed to accomplish since being out here, and it's paid off big time, you know what I'm saying, in many different ways, so when you're around people that motivate you to become the best version of yourself, you know what I'm saying, it's amazing, what you can actually accomplish
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a situation where you don't have people excuses for themselves. um they're not making excuses for you. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So it just forces you to be the best that you can possibly be. So that is the benefit of being in a situation where you can fortify a relationship with a true brother and a true friend. But also, as far as family, man, it's been great being here because I have a lot of opportunities here that I didn't have when I was living in Georgia. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Just the environment in general has been a blessing, man. And honestly, um, I really think about you know, I know we talked years ago about, man. Wish I would have came out sooner because I mean, back in 2017
It happens when it
when I
happens,
first visited,
Mm-hmm.
something hit my spirit. Like, man, I kind of really feel like this is gonna be the place I really get established. I get a homestead going here, and you know what I'm saying. The years just went by, but man, I just wish I would have made that move sooner. But I'm glad I did, and
No, don't let that
you know
spirit
what I'm
come
saying.
upon you because I felt the same way, man. I wish I could have did it 10 years earlier, but the spirit didn't come on me 10 years earlier. It came on me when it came up on me.
Right.
And so, we're just definitely thankful for it. But that's just how it be. Tell
Mm-hmm.
us about, because I'm gonna get into it, but what kind of connections have you been able to make in terms of, people other than me? What kind of valuable people have you been able to connect to and network with from that perspective? Because we're in two different fields. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
do carpentry, you do appliance repair. Certain things overlap, but for the most part, most things don't. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So how does that how have you been able to experience that out here?
Well, it really started with Facebook,
Hmm.
because your wife actually, and we shared this in one of the first videos we did together about how I explained how your wife kind of uh, gave me some advice about Facebook Marketplace in
Hmm.
terms of posting ads of what I do and whatnot, and of course that was an avenue for me to really start getting introduced to people and networking with people. But I tell you, what really makes that really expand is
Mm.
the type of person you are. Ultimately, you have to still perform. I mean, of course, I had people constantly contact me in the beginning, and that was the first time I really utilized Facebook for that. And you know,
Interesting, really.
yeah, and then from there, once I got connected with certain people, once I started posting ads and people started reaching out to me, and I did a good job for one individual, they would refer me to the next, and it just kind of blossomed from there.
Hmm.
And I began meeting a lot of people in real estate. I began meeting a lot of restaurant owners. Um, so it's a man's skill will bring him before great men. Before people in position, and
Hmm.
that really has played out. You know what I'm saying? But also, it's people genuinely have a lot of respect for me. I mean, there's a lot of people I've done favors for that
Hmm.
I've helped in situations that I don't really talk about. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I've created a very good reputation just in the local area in just a short amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, you gotta have character.
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't matter what type of business you do. You gotta have character. You gotta stand behind your word. You gotta treat people right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not, and of course, this spans into different areas and not just business.
Hmm.
You gotta have a mentality where you don't want to do no harm to nobody. You don't want to hurt nobody. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You have the fear of Yah in you to where um you know what I'm saying, you ain't gonna be able to sleep well at night if you know you wronged a brother, if you wronged an individual. Um so if you have that mentality, that's gonna serve you well in every area of life. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, man, it's been excellent. It's been great. I'm looking forward to I've been so busy, man, lately,
Hmm.
but man, I want to really start doing some activities with the family. We go to a lake. Um, it's a lake out in Grand Rivers that we go to, man. I'm gonna have to show you at some point, man. We go out there, I go fishing, go swimming out there. I've been, I took them a lot last summer. We're gonna plan to do that probably first day, because they really enjoy that. The boys really enjoy, swimming and
Hmm.
just a great area. So it's a lot of. I mean, it's different things to do out here. That's one thing I do like. I mean, it's different things. It's a
Oh,
lot of different activities and things to get into.
a
Even
ton of
though it's a small
activities.
area, it's not a
Yeah.
large metropolitan area, but
Hmm.
it's still things you can do. What I'm saying, with the family. So
Oh, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, during the last 2 weeks after Daddy Daughter Day, we've gone bowling. We've gone to the Discovery Park. Chuck E. Cheese is always an option. We've gone to the fair or the carnival. Um, we've gone to the circus that came to Mayfield, and all of these was like the circus is like $5 a ticket.
hmm
It wasn't expensive at all. The carnival was like $10 a ticket. Um, bowling, it was like $25 for two games
hmm
for all four of us. For no, all for all five of us. It was like $25. It wasn't expensive at all. So the idea is that there are events. Provide. I mean, if you're busy, I mean, this is, I mean, I got a little bit more time on my hands and stuff because
hmm
just basically where I am. And
But
being a little
these
bit more
things are important. I
established.
mean, these things are important, and
They're
because
very important.
ultimately we're trying to bring a balance. It's all about,
Hmm.
because obviously being Israelites, we do raise our children very differently.
Hmm.
They're not raised like the children in the world. So it is important to bring a balance, allow them to have fun, allow them to have memories, um, and enjoy themselves. So it's great when you can do that. It's great when you are in a bit position to do that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because ultimately we're trying to raise the next generation of young men and young women.
Hmm.
And um, with my boys, of course, I have an approach that I'm trying to really mold them to follow my footsteps.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not just with business, but also um, just being a man in general, and how you need to carry yourself. I was talking to my son a lot about, because he sees how I interact with people, and I told
Yeah.
him, and I was talking to him about, as a man, respect is very important. You want people to respect you. And I asked him, I said, you see all the people I interact with, you see that they respect me,
Yeah.
right? And he was able to see that. He was able to see how people acknowledged me, how people appreciated what I did, and how people, um, you know, really value, not just the work I did, but who I was as an individual.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because of how I treat them and how I interact with them. And I think that's very important, for a young man to see. You know, um, because if you don't have respect as a man, if you can't garner respect by how you carry yourself and how you conduct yourself, then you don't have anything. So I really was trying to instill that in him today, and really every time I take him out with me
Hmm.
is to take pride in what you do. Take pride in anything you put your hand to do. Take pride in it, because your name is on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to take pride in the sense of being diligent. You know what I'm saying? Having an excellent spirit.
Hmm.
I guess is a better way to put it. But it's so many things as fathers, just our presence, man, that we teach our children. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so I take that very seriously, man. And so I enjoy every time I have him come with me, man. I really enjoy it, and he loves it. Um, he's gonna be 13 next year. It's just crazy how
Wow.
the years just fly by, man. But I have an obligation and a duty to make sure he's raised up
Wow,
to be
teenager
prepared.
already,
hmm
man. I mean, they just grow up fast, man.
hmm
It's just critical just to show them the living example. And that's why it's so important, to train them up right. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? To train them up right. And that's why I'm so diligent and consistent when it comes to not only having a good time with them, but showing the living example of what it means. And I just
Yeah.
did an interview with my daughter today, and she I just let her fly in
Hmm.
terms of what she experiences and how she experiences, and her biggest thing is she loved to eat, and mommy cooks all day, and dad works all day, and they love to eat, and they love to eat, and they love to eat. I'm telling you, man. So you got to be able to produce that food, and they love the string beans, and they love the rice, and they love the fried chicken, and you know what I'm saying. I mean, hey, I mean, they eat what they eat, and they sop down all of the homemade bread that she makes. She makes at least um a whole loaf of bread a day. We don't buy bread anymore. And there's certain things that I've just slowly moved away from.
Hmm.
Moving away from ice cream, store bought ice cream. We bought ourselves an ice cream machine. Moving away from bread and stuff. In the morning time, she bakes my own pastries. So I don't have to eat out. I mean, sometimes we go and we get donuts and stuff, but all that Walmart stuff, we go to these. I got to go all the way to Paducah to get the pastries that we get from these shops that make it nice and fresh and right up on site.
Hmm.
So these are important things that we need to be able to consistently do with our children to develop them mentally, to develop them spiritually, and give them a good, solid foundation. But
Absolutely.
this is what it's about. It comes to the family and making sure that that's what I try and do. I stress again, just making sure that they have a good quality life.
Hmm.
But in addition to that, I mean, on the network in front of my side, I launched this apprenticeship program with this young man, and we already got, what I'm saying, I got some cash apps already, got the paper, a donation and everything,
Hmm.
and it's amazing, you know, there are people that are willing to support, and I'm going to be having them. We're going to be going out and doing because he's away this weekend. He did a trip with his neighbor. They took him to North Carolina, something like that. They drove out, but he's going to be back Monday, and we're going to be doing some projects here on the land as well as off. But putting some Federal Reserve notes in the people's pocket in his pocket
Hmm.
because it's amazing. I've been working with him for 3 years now. It ain't like I just started. You know what I'm saying? Working with the young man. You know what I'm saying? So
I remember.
every summertime, you know what I'm saying, I try and get him as much as I can. And he has an excellent spirit, local football player. I know it's when I was doing that fencing project. When did I do that fencing project? Um, that was earlier this year. I got him on spring break or fall recess or whenever one of them times that they got out and we were putting up the fence, and the lady was like, the high school was like, don't you play for the he's a local football player, and don't you
Hmm.
play for this and this thing, and he was like, I'm saying, it was cute, some little young Caucasian young girl, you know what I'm saying, was hot for him, you know what I'm saying. But this young man, he's a good man. He really is a good man. I mean,
Yeah, and then
yeah.
you coming into his life as a
Hmm.
father figure, and you really are introducing what it is to be in his faith as well to him. You know what I'm saying? It's an opportunity now for him to see that, and
Hmm.
you coming in and stepping in that role. Um, at the age that he's at, he's still very impressionable. So,
Hmm.
y'all brought him in your path, and look what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just not only a great opportunity for him to financially support himself and help support his family, but
Hmm.
also to really understand what it is to be an Israelite man. You know what I'm saying? So that is an awesome feat, man.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't try and deal with folks, you know what I'm saying, these foolish young ones, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, he has an excellent spirit. I really do
mhm,
like his attitude. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Never gives me any problems. He's he does as he's told, you know what I'm saying? He can follow directions. He's very intelligent. Now I'm telling you, I think he can bench press just like you can bench press, man.
Probably can.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? That football stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 'cause, going down to the gym and see him, man, he can do like 250, 300 pounds easy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But the guy, the young man has an excellent spirit. So whoever's going to support the young man, you know what I'm saying, is just greatly appreciated. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I got to make some phone calls to some folks. And a couple of sisters. I realized a couple of sisters, you know what I'm saying, sent a couple of dollars as well. So, it's good to see sisters that because I was joking with them and I was saying, you know what I'm saying, these women out here today, these single mothers that harp all the day about men that don't, you know, step up to, you know what I'm saying, help out single mothers. And I was saying how they got money for weaves, they got money for lace fronts, they got money for um what else they got money for? Eyelashes. They got money for long nails. They got money for all this, but they ain't got no money to support a young man. The selfishness that's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing. But he gonna get it done regardless. I'm gonna every year he gets a whole bunch of Federal Reserve notes in his pockets. Um, every time he works with me, and he's grateful for it, and so all that who's donated, you know what I'm saying, and continues to donate and support the young man, we appreciate it. But on the business front as well, something very, very, very beautiful is taking place this year, and I'm just so excited about it. And that is developing a good friendship with a couple that is moved out here from Wisconsin, and this man does framing. He does framing,
Mm.
and he started framing when he was. Uh, when did he start framing? He started framing. He said when he was like 14, 15 years old, probably earlier than that. And the brother has been able to look at all the equipment that this brother got, man. Look at all you want to see the equipment. See, this is some real equipment right here.
Mm.
He owns all this stuff cash.
Mm.
All of the tools necessary, the skid stage, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? I mean, he owns that cash. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the kind of connection that I have been dreaming to develop. And so they purchased about 20 acres out there, and wife has an excellent spirit as well. And it's funny, I went over there, I had to do some additional patching and stuff, but I just ended up staying over there. And, I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you can develop those real connections with people.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got in the word. We started, I started pulling out Bible verses. We got in the word. I came back here, got the venison and
Mm-hmm.
took it back, and we put it on the pit boss. And man, he got a pit boss, and I tell you, we was chugging down scotch, and we was enjoying the string beans and the venison from the garden, and they had some fried rice, and I brought them over a whole bunch of eggs and stuff. And I'm telling you, man, I had a great time with
Hallelujah.
these folks.
Hallelujah.
And not only that, he wants to go into business with me. He wants to go into business with me.
Mm.
And I said, brother, you know what I'm saying? With all of these tools, you know what I'm saying? You know how many times I could use a lift to, you know what I'm saying, do building and do framing. He knows how to do framing. So now I got this young man that we can work with. Then he knows how to do framing and he got the tools to do it. And hey, man, you know what I'm saying? He's debt free or whatever. And, the opportunity is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm.
there's another brother, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I could tap Brother Chase or Brother Zeal come out, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, the opportunities are there. for people
Mhm.
with real skills. You know what I'm saying? So, he just moved out here and looking, you know what I'm saying, for opportunity. Looking, and he's only 35 now. I tell you, man, the man, they
Mm.
got a spread out there like it ain't a spread before.
Mm.
Let me tell you, man, he got all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every tool that you can imagine, own framing business.
Mm.
And you know why he stopped the framing business and just gave up? Guess why he stopped and just
Probably couldn't
moved?
find help.
Couldn't find damn help.
Yep.
It's amazing how you be talking to somebody, right? And you can have the same experience and the same conversation. It was like a kindred spirit when me and him was talking. It's just like we melded, and then the wife was like, "Oh yeah, we should have Bible study, whatever." Going over there and having Bible study with him. Because I was like, at the same time, you know what I'm saying, he's 35 and the wife is 30, and I was like, and we started having some deep. So you know me, I'm straight up. I
Hmm.
said, I'll be damned. They ain't a damn thing that neither one of you can teach me. I said, you good in business, and you know what I'm saying, making $500,000 a year and this and that. That's the kind of money you making. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but those are the kind of skill sets he could frame up an entire house. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But you can see that, you know what I'm saying, they want the word. They know the word. You know what I'm saying? I was throwing out loud and they was finishing up, but they know the word. And
Yeah, I'm
so
looking
it
forward to
was
meeting that brother.
excellent. Excellent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he
Looking
was like,
forward to
yo,
meeting him.
man, let's go into business together, man. Give me a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows I'm established out here, plugging in this deal. You know what I'm saying? Deals we can go 50-50 on, man. No problem. He got the tools, I got the connections. We go 50-50 on deals. So now we're in the position now where we can do bigger. I'm in a position now that I can do bigger projects. I said
Hmm.
last year I walked away from $87,000 worth of business because I had no help. If I had that man's lift and I had him here, why not make $40,000 extra instead of 87? Why make 45 instead of 90? And we can split it. Extra 45 G's in my pocket just like that. If I known him last year. So these are the kind of opportunities I'm going to be pushing framing. I'm going to be pushing larger projects now. Paul, you know what I'm saying? And the wife, you know what I'm saying? She can help out. They young couple, man. Young couple, no job,
Hmm.
debt free, financially independent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just, the relationship melded so well. I'm going to be going over there again Sunday, um, because the wife's father is a 5-star world class chef that used to uh be the chief chef for like the king of New Zealand.
Wow.
This was the king of New Zealand chef.
Wow.
So I'll be honored to have him cook up my leg of lamb and some rack of lamb.
Hmm.
So we're gonna be going over there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be fellowshipping. We're gonna get into the word. Meet up with the father. The father, I hear is mad cool. The you know what I'm saying? And they was like, man, we've been looking for somebody like you. And he's Irish, and the wife is white.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you can tell he Irish, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but you know what I'm saying? That Irish accent is funny listening to him. You know what I'm saying? But they
And they
understand.
seem to
No,
be
no,
open
man.
to the truth.
Oh, oh yeah.
That's a beautiful thing
Oh
about it.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just, everything is working out perfectly with these
Hmm.
folks. I didn't get home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, I just want to just do some follow up patch up work
Hmm.
that they wanted me to do, and so, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't get home until like 11:30, like 11 o'clock at night. I didn't get home. We was just chopping up. We threw that venison on a pit boss, man. We seasoned it up. I said, let me go ahead and get me one of them hindquarters, and they never had venison before.
Hmm.
We tore that shit up. He put it on that pit boss, man. We grilled that thing, you know what I'm saying, and sliced into that thing, man. Oh man, it was just succulent, man. I mean, he just hooked it up because he got an egg, a pit boss, and some other another pit boss grill, a pit boss what do you call that thing? Frying pan.
Mm.
The frying surface, and also the egg. And them eggs cost like $2,500.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't even realize how much them
Yeah,
eggs cost.
those are high dollar.
But he had one of the eggs, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and so, it's gonna be a beautiful thing to go over there. And because I'm all about some good food. And so, when you got a world-class chef that in cook five-star chef that in cook that it was the personal chef for the king of New Zealand,
Wow.
you're about to have some slamming ass food.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, bring over that mint, bring over that, bring over them cucumbers, bring over some more eggs, bring over some. I bought some, dropped over some leg of lamb and some rack of lamb, and I'm gonna bring over some more hindquarters. And man, they got a big field, and all we saw was deer running back and forth. I'm gonna be over there lighting their asses up. I mean, I could light their asses up over here, but it's just gonna be fun just to be over there with the 300. You know what I'm saying? Lighting their asses up, and everything he was talking about, man, we was just on. It's just like one mind, one spirit, on one accord. It was an excellent feeling. You know what I'm saying? It was an excellent, experience to be able to do that. And then in addition to that, you know what I'm saying? The wife is like, we should have Bible study.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Perfect opportunity.
I'm telling you, man, just a beautiful opportunity, man. You know what I'm saying? So, preach the word, spread the word, you know what I'm saying? For people who have like mind and precious faith, make some money together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so this is what it has to be about. It has to be about developing those friendship. But first, before you want to make a friend, before you can make a friend, you have to first show yourself to be friendly.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And see, people, they know when you full of shit. You talking about it, you know what I'm saying? He may be 35, but he ain't stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to build $500,000 business, you know what I'm saying, in a year, and all everything is land, the tools, the trailers, the machinery, everything is paid for. Everything is paid for. You know what I'm saying? And in addition to that, they own a herd of horses, whatever. Hey, bring your daughters over. You know what I'm saying? They can ride the horses and everything. All of that stuff, man.
There's some friendly people out here, man.
I mean, yeah, and more friendly because these people are from Wisconsin. They just moved out here. But you know what I'm saying? You see more and more people moving. You know what I'm saying? And he said he had a big house out there. But you see this happening more and more. You know what I'm saying? There's good people that want it. You know what I noticed? They yearn for fellowship. They yearn for it. You can tell. You know what I'm saying? Man, stay, man, have some coffee, this and the third or whatever. I was like, man, I said, I ain't doing that today. Why not? You know what I'm saying? I only planned on being over there for like a half hour. I ended up coming over there, leaving, getting the hind quarter for the deer, bringing over some more leg of lamb for third for Sunday. I'm gonna be over there Sunday. Fellowshipping. We're gonna schedule Bible study. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just all about developing those true friendships, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? And so this is like an all-in-one where you develop more friendship, but in addition to that, you can fellowship. But in addition to that, you can make money together. Isn't that a blessing?
Yeah, I mean that's a rare thing. It's
It's
a
a
rare
rare
thing to
thing,
come
man.
across people that not only do you vibe well with them, but they have a ear to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a blessing when you can come across that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, man, there's a lot of good people out here that I've met. And of course, it's like we've mentioned many times before. It's like a 98% white area. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But it's a lot of good people that I've been able to meet. A lot of great connections.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if you carry yourself in the fear of Yah, I mean, Most High always shows you favor. No matter where you go, He's gonna show you favor. You know what I mean? And I can get along with anybody, man. Honestly, it don't matter where they come from. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
man, because
I know
y'all's
how to
no
talk to
respect
people.
of
I know how to deal
persons.
with people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just simple. Treat them how you want to be
You
treated.
treat you treat
It's
somebody how
that
you want to
simple.
be treated, man. It's as simple as
It
that,
ain't that
man.
difficult.
You know, you show love and respect and honor for somebody, and
And
they show
even if
love
people
and
aren't in
respect
the
for
faith,
you.
even if they're not in the faith,
Yeah.
we're supposed to strive to be, at peace with all men. So that's what I strive to do, man. I try to be at peace with everybody I meet. You know what I'm saying? And I have that. Again, going back to do no harm mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to get over on nobody. I'm not trying to cheat nobody, and you know what I'm saying. And you know what I'm saying. Again, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
It's really that simple for me. You know what I'm saying. And I've seen and I remember years ago you talked about developing relationships
Mm-hmm.
in the area that you're in, the local area that you're in, and how important that it was. I remember you doing a video like that, man. That was probably back in 2017
Yeah, I mean, I'm
when you
going,
a couple years after you moved out here.
but in addition to that, because the interesting that they're not but 15 minutes away from me. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? They ain't nothing but 10, 12 minutes away from me up the
Hmm.
block. And so not only do you want to develop relationships, you want to develop the right relationships.
Right.
You want to develop the right. I mean, like I go back to his and my conversation. It just flowed so beautifully
Hmm.
because we understood what, especially if you're in contracting work and you can understand the frustration of linking up with people that ain't on drugs and stuff like that and that sincerely do want to work. So we understood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you can tell a bullshitter from a person that's about it.
Hmm. Yep.
And I can find no foolishness in this man, and this man can't find no foolishness in me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why it's so important. Not only just developing relationships, because it's like everybody's in a different walk in life, but I'm at the point in time where it's just like I'm not trying to waste my time and
Right.
developing relationships and dealing with people that's just in a whole bunch of damn foolishness.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
I mean, it just ain't got no time for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you ain't about nothing, then what we got to talk about?
Hey, that's facts,
What we
man.
got to talk about? We ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't got nothing in common. This and third, you ain't body. You know what I'm saying? What we got to talk about? If we ain't understanding, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a beautiful thing to be able to develop good relationships. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Throughout the years, perfect example is brother Mike. You know what I'm saying? I love that brother. That brother's a good, solid brother right there. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Ideas and it always comes forward. You know what I'm saying? I got the idea from brother Mike to do the sponsorship
Mm.
mentorship program, even though I've been doing it. He was like, "Hey, why don't you go about doing this and getting additional support?" I got that idea from him.
Mm.
I didn't come up with that myself. Bro, Mike came up with that idea.
Hallelujah.
You see how that works? You know what I'm saying? So the idea is that unless people are not about sharing ideas, sharing resources, sharing our thoughts that we can uplift one another, that we can understand what's going on. Well, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? And so that's the point in time that I'm at. At this point in time, well, but that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about right there. The ability to develop good, solid friendships based on mutual benefit, based on progressiveness,
Hmm. Hmm.
based on truth,
Right.
based on love,
Hmm.
based on understanding, based on camaraderie, based on these things that are real, that are tangible, that are, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can tell this man is yearning
Mm.
for friendship. He ain't looking for buddies and pals and pizos.
Hmm.
He ain't got
Hey,
time
that's
for
real.
that. He looking for he is listen there. He said that's why we left. He said that's why I left Wisconsin. Too many fake ass people.
Mm.
Too many fake people.
Sound like you got the spirit of truth, man.
Oh yeah, he definitely got the spirit of truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting to
Definitely.
hear his Irish butt talk. You know what I'm saying? But sir, what I mean. But what I like because you know what I'm saying, I had to correct him a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? I had to. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that he know, and just putting things in a proper order perspective. I was putting them like this. I was like, listen here. Um, if we was on a job site and you think I have the ability to correct you about framing, no. He been doing framing longer than I have. But at the flip side, I've been doing tiling longer than he has. He don't know how to do tiling. He's never done tiling. You see what I'm saying? So it's about the proper order of perspective. It's about yielding to those individuals that have the experience that you don't have,
Mm-hmm.
in the areas that you don't have it, and offering the experience and offering the wisdom and know-how in the
Mm-hmm.
areas of, you know what I'm saying? He was like, his wife pointed out, he was like, hey, he can give you wisdom on marriage and relationships. There ain't a damn thing. I said, ain't a damn thing you too young to sit here and tell me about nothing when it come to marriage. Ain't
Yeah,
nothing you can tell me nothing
and,
about
and
that.
and that goes back to what we was talking about
Hmm.
last week. Like you have to, you have to be able to humble yourself, especially when you are a young man. You gotta, be able to find somebody that you can submit yourself to. You know what I'm saying? Find yourself that you can find someone that you can glean from. Um, and but when it comes time to be corrected in a certain area, you got to be humble enough to receive it. You know what I'm
Receive it,
saying?
man.
Because it's all about trying to grow and progress. You know what I'm saying? And you can't have pride when you're dealing with somebody that's an elder to you that's actually trying to help you and help you progress in life. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, of course, young people, they don't see that. But hey, that's something you know about me. I don't mind receiving any type of correction and learning. You know what I'm saying? Because if I know somebody got more experience in a certain area than I do, hey, I have no problem. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Trying to learn and glean from that individual. So
But that was the spirit that was on this man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so excited
yeah.
about developing those relationships and doing business. And as a direct result, larger project is going to come because he knows that I'm a worker and I know that he's a worker and I have the connections. He has the materials and the
Hmm.
skill sets as well. Man, I'll tell you, man, it's just a match made in heaven. It's gonna be a beautiful year. It's already been a beautiful year in business. It's just gonna be, it's gonna be a six-figure year this year. I firmly
Hmm.
believe it. It's going to be a six-figure year this year. It's just a beautiful thing, to be able to just take it to this next level. But why? Why? Why have I been saying this? Real skills, real assets, real friends. That's how you make it to the next level. That's how you do it. They have to be real. They have to be real.
Hmm.
You have to have a sincerity of heart to really want to coordinate and network and it not be people. We talked about all these concepts about even be unevenly yoked, about mutual benefit, about, you know what I'm saying, camaraderie and sharing ideas and sharing resources. We talked about all this stuff. Every bit of it we talked about, and we just flowed like water, man. Like water down a duck's back, man. We just flowed. I'm just so looking forward to developing uh partnerships with this man. I mean, and fellowshipping with this man, and you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
and
I'm
teaching him
definitely
the word.
definitely looking forward to meeting this brother as
Yeah,
well.
you know what I'm saying. I mean, he's a spot on man. You know what I'm saying? Spot on man.
Not too many.
And so it ain't too many like that, man. But this is how it happens. It starts one brother,
Yep.
then two brothers, then three brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But what is it? What is the scripture say? Just like Philemon said, but just like Paul said to Philemon. You know what I'm saying? The church is right there in your home because look at all these people that were there.
Hmm.
The church is in the fellowship. We were with two or more gathered in His name. There I am in the midst. Don't let people deceive you into thinking that you got to be part of some mega church or something like that in order to inherit the kingdom. When the Messiah clearly said, "Where two or more gathered in His name, there I am in the midst."
Hmm.
It's amazing, how these connections are taking place because see, people are yearning for good, solid fellowship and connection. People are yearning for that good quality My wife just now developed a good relationship with the couple that I purchased the goats from. She homeschools her children. We homeschool our children. They meeting up at the park now. I mean, the children are getting along with one another and stuff. I mean, this is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? People of like mind.
Right.
And and I like as well how people compliment my daughters. And one with I'm telling you, I was just doing a video yesterday, right? So we're out, and I'm doing this video. Where that video? Videos. And let me just run this because it was just so beautiful just to experience live in action. But let me just play this for y'all. On all of these two tablets, hold the law first.
Cherry, what kind are you eating? That's my favorite. What do you got? Rainbow? What does that taste like? I think I'm gonna get tiger's blood. That's what she's got. That's my favorite.
Bless you, sir. It's amazing. This kind of stuff happens all the time. People that come up to see my children and they honor my children and they honor their presence because they see uh, daughters of value, daughters of worth. It happens all the time, and you just now heard it. You just now heard it for yourself. Um, it feels so good to be honored by your community. Uh, and I don't even know that individual at all, but this happens all the time. Uh, know your worth, know your value, because society as a whole, they will see your light. They will see your light. They will see the type of character and integrity that you have, and they will honor you and they will value you because you do know your worth and you are of value. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Isn't that a beautiful thing to just be randomly out? People honor you and interact with you in such a fashion that they appreciate uh, the value that you bring to society. They appreciate how you carry yourself and how your children carry themselves. It's just all there. Know your real worth. But I'm telling you, man, it happens all the time. This is just nothing but the living manifestation of what it takes and what it means to be truly sanctified, holy, set apart, to be a person of character and integrity, and then see and then have society as a whole view and honor and respect you and your children. It's just a beautiful thing. I mean, we go out to the carnival and you just see all these little ratchet little young girls running around looking like little whores. I mean, it was just a shame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then people coming up to my daughters and me, oh, your daughters are just so beautiful. Oh, your daughters are just so well behaved. Oh, well, this is all I get. I honestly feel as though I'm a celebrity locally when we go out. We're treated like royalty. We're treated like celebrity royalty when we go out and we go out into the public. Uh, Daddy daughter dates. I mean, you can just see everywhere from the envy to the honor that he showed is just written all over the people's faces. It's never well, it's always envy or honor. It's never in between. I just love it. I just love it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what real skills, real assets, real friends will do for you. These are the living examples that we experience, and that I attempt to show time and time again. through these videos, whether what I've been talking about 6 years ago, 8 years ago, or what we do with our families, or how we do business, or how we're viewed in the local community. It's all there. It's all there. But you got to be a man of honor and integrity. You have to be a man that's willing to put in the work and get things done.
Mhm.
You have to be a man that's willing to sacrifice, because this is a life of sacrifice. And I mean, I just can't go out whoring no more like I used to. Huh? That them days are over. Them days of iniquity are over. You know what I'm saying? I can't go out and do all of the things that I wanted to do because I'm a family man now. And this is what comes with being a family man. And I'm excited about being a family man, because this is something that I didn't have. And so that's something that now that my children will have. But
Hallelujah.
this is what it's all about. It's all about showing a living example, because there's people out there that, you know what I'm saying, they talk, but there's few people that walk the walk, that shows a living example of what it means to uh, be sanctified, be set apart, and receive the blessings, and it manifests in your life. So with that being said, I'm gonna give anything you want to say in closing? 'Cause I'm tired. I'm
Uh,
gonna go to bed afterwards and
nah, man.
sleeping late.
Like I said, I just always wish everybody out there well. I mean, as you can see, this ain't rehearsed. We just going with the spirit where the spirit leads us.
Hmm.
So I just pray that you know, anybody that listened was edified, and you know what I'm saying. That's really the aim of everything that we do. So hopefully next week we'll have another topic, to bring some encouragement, edification, and exhortation. So
Yeah.
I pray everybody has a good Shabbat, and Shabbat Shalom.
All right. Shabbat shalom. See you next week.